Well, my dear friends, this comes as very welcome news in terms of Star Wars updates, and we're talking about the next cinematic venture, The Mandalorian and Grogu, very likely to be the replacement of Season 4 coming to cinemas in 2026. We have our very first leak. A significant day indeed because this is reminiscent of the sequel trilogy. Star Wars fans and aficionados trying to get any kind of set photos, any information, and this is our first for the next era of Star Wars on the big screen. Now here's the thing, filming has not started, but it's about to. There is a bit of a delay, but they're getting ready and the set's being built and well underway. This comes from the reliable MakingStarWars.net. At the time these were taken, and I will be breaking down what you're looking at in just a moment, one source close to Bespin Bulletin says, filming has not begun. If history repeats itself. In the past, at the location Making Star Wars got images of other sets being built like for the Ahsoka show. Filming takes place around 4 weeks from when the sets at the location started being built. So we're talking about pretty soon, sometime in August or September. So these pictures were taken in California and they've already built what looks like a turret, a base, and homes. They say there is minimal paint, so we don't know what planet this is. There is some speculation this might be a turret such as the ones on Hoth. And I've already seen speculation that in the post-Episode 6 world, the Imperial Remnant may now have a base there. Could you imagine the return to Star Wars on the big screen, returning to an iconic location from The Empire Strikes Back? The only real canon information about the aftermath of the Battle of Hoth comes from Alphabet Squadron. In 5 ABY, there were rumours the New Republic intended to repurpose it into a prison for those who remained loyal to the Empire. So as I say, remnants could still be out there. Something which really concerned Mon Mothma. Imagine a prison uprising or a member of the Shadow Council planning a massive breakout. Something Din Djarin has to go investigate. As proven time and again, the New Republic is incompetent, and it wouldn't surprise me if they just didn't have adequate resources or care to keep the prison facilities there secure. And according to Star Wars Uprising following the Battle of Endor, Hoth became the site of another battle following the Iron Blockade. Basically, following Episode 6, there were rumours the death of Palpatine was rebel propaganda, and so one Imperial Governor, Ubric Adelhard, locked down the entire sector, isolating his citizens from any reports on the end of the war and knowledge of the Emperor's death. This led to the rebels fighting back, and Hoth, once again, was the site of another big conflict. So, are we going back to Hoth? I think it's a pretty big stretch, but who knows? But these, my dear friends, are the very first set leaks for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. In other Mando news, a massive declaration from Dave Filoni. His comments in an interview with IGN seem to confirm what we always knew about The Mandalorian. It was always the stepping stone to exploring the New Republic in more depth. So for those worried, after Mando and Grogu were not getting Season 4, or were not getting more content in the era, that is wrong. Aside from Ahsoka Season 2, they're in this for the long run, even if the shows don't always focus on the same characters. And this is reassuring news for fans of the expanded universe, especially fans of Heir to the Empire. Dave said this, the idea that after Return of the Jedi there was a New Republic, and that the heroes still have to defend their Republic from the Remnant, is a very old idea that we brought into the first season. It was always there, and it's here to stay. I would say this is very exciting, because it reinforces the idea that just because Mando and Grogu are slated as the stars, going into The Mandalorian and Grogu they're now working with the New Republic, working with the Delphi Squadron, that they're all that's going to be focused on is wrong. I think the movie is also going to take a great deal of time to show us more of the Shadow Council, Thrawn's return, and that is going to be further expanded on in Dave's movie, whenever that comes out. And so the journey we've been taken on so far is pretty fascinating. As you guys probably know, I love Mando Season 2, but for fans who love the spirit of the first season, I think that is going to be the soft reset the fourth season, or should I say Mando and Grogu, or both if they decide to do both, is about to take. We're going back to those roots, but the second season did lay the foundation for other characters coming into play. This continued in Boba Fett, Star Wars Ahsoka with Mon Mothma, 3PO, Leia being name dropped, and to me, in spite of fans being very discouraged by the divided fandom, by what's been going on with the Acolyte inside and outside of the show, this is very much a new hope for the future direction of the franchise, even if you don't love everything Dave Filoni's done. I trust Jon Favreau can provide us with a very solid movie, and I do reiterate, it's time for Star Wars to come back to the cinema. I think it's going to be a fresh direction. I hate to borrow terms from other franchises and big IPs, but it's time for the next phase. It's time to build on what we've explored in the first 3 seasons of the show. What do you guys think? Are you excited for The Mandalorian and Grogu? What do you make of everything we spoke about? Let me know in the comments down below. And in other movie news, this is a pretty big one. As you guys know, Shawn Levy is set to direct a Star Wars movie at some stage in the near future. And now we know the Adam Project writer Jonathan Tropper is going to write it. Back in November of 2022, Shawn Levy, director behind films like Free Guy, The Adam Project, Real Steel, also known for his work on Stranger Things, was slated for an outing in the galaxy far, far away. Word on the Levy project has been quiet ever since. There was some speculation he was going to direct a Kylo Ren movie, but this was never confirmed. But today we found out, an exclusive from The Insider, Jonathan Tropper is going to write it. The two have worked together in the past, notably on 2014's This Is Where I Leave You, but he is best known for the Adam Project, and I would say this is a very positive development. It is very unlikely this project is going to see the light of day anytime soon. We're not talking about until 2029, because think about it, The Mandalorian and Grogu is first, then the Rey movie, then there's Dave Filoni's movie, Taika Waititi has a film at some point, and James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi. My prediction, Shawn Levy's movie is going to be the second installment of a brand new Rey trilogy. That looks like a probable direction. Are Lucasfilm going to pursue it, or is this going to become another cancelled project? So moving on to our next Star Wars update, this is actually pretty funny. Now, we all make mistakes, but this one did surprise me. So, on Star Wars' official episode guide for the most recent episode of The Acolyte, Episode 7 Choice, as you probably heard in the episode, midichlorian count was referred to as M count, and we've heard this term across multiple Star Wars projects. But the databank says this: M count was first introduced in The Bad Batch, a shorthand for midichlorian count. Well, actually, the nerdy correction kind of actually, it was first introduced in the new canon in Episode 4 of The Mandalorian Season 2. Dr. Pershing says it, in the hologram meant for Moff Gideon, which our heroes intercept, on Navarro, when he's talking about blood transfusions, the experiments on Grogu. At the time we thought they were cooking up some Snokes, but in Season 3 we learned this was not part of Project Necromancer, but instead Moff Gideon clones, although some say the two are unrelated. Nonetheless, the Acolyte episode guide is a little bit short-sighted. M count was not first referred to in The Bad Batch, but instead Mando Season 2. Midichlorians date back to the prequel trilogy and The Phantom Menace, but M count, in the way we hear it in the TV shows, the short abbreviated version, can first be heard in Mando, not The Bad Batch, although both do adopt it.